What's up, guys? Welcome back to Loveshack TCG, and today we're going to be doing another zombie deck profile. It's just like the updated version of the previous build, but now it's got all sorts of, basically anything I had been proxying or talking about in the first one. I actually have it, and I also have made a few changes to the deck, so I thought it'd be cool to go ahead and make an updated profile, and we do have a complete side deck now as well. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I've had, some positive commentary to it. People have been asking. Now I'm going into the third week of playing it at locals, and it's been performing really well, but I've noticed some matchups where it does struggle, so hopefully some of the changes that I made will help it in that regard. So I've been doing plenty of play testing with it, and really the goal is just to be able to get it to work a bit better, a bit more effectively. Check out the background of this too, you guys. I got some new stuff we've added. Some of it's from openings that haven't even been posted yet, so it's a little bit of a spoiler, but you have to check that out. So let's go ahead and start with the monsters. So still playing 3 Unizombie just like last time, and you know what, let me just tilt this down just a little bit. Okay, so 3 Unizombie, and I talked about the importance of this card last time. It lets you mill your stuff, it can manipulate levels, it can put stuff in the graveyard with its other effect if you need it to, and it's a tuner. So really it's like the reason the deck works as well as it does, but the fact that also it has 0 defense, which means you can bring it back with the majority of stuff I'm using in the deck, and you can make all sorts of synchros or Xyz with it, and not to mention you actually can mess up your opponent's monsters levels with it as well if you really wanted to, if you're playing against a deck like maybe Satellar's that focuses on Xyz a lot. So now I'm playing Triple Mathematician, which I was hesitant about at first, but wow, is this card good. Honestly, it's so good in the deck, and I thought it was going to be a dead draw or a card that wasn't necessary, but it almost worked out perfectly in every regard. It's level 3, but if you have Unizombie on the field, you can manipulate its level to make it a 4, and then you can go ahead and overlay with it or synchro, whatever. The fact is, you can summon it, mill summon like Mizuki, and then when it's destroyed, you draw a card. Not to place too much emphasis on the drawing aspect of it, because sometimes you don't get to pull it off, but it's so good, and if you open with it early, it really speeds up your game, and if you do draw, either you're forcing your opponent to get it off the field with something else so you can't draw, or they're going to kill it, you get to draw, and then it basically pays for itself. So it speeds up the deck, and it's worked really well. Triple Mizuki, I'm not even going to explain that one. Again, such an essential card to the deck, but you can mill it with Mathematician, you can mill it with Unizombie, all sorts of cool uses for it. Not to mention, it's just a really versatile card, and it's 1700, so if you do want to use it to crash into something, like Altair or other things you might end up facing off against, it's decent for that purpose too. Although, obviously I don't want to waste a normal summon on it, but there are times where I do open with it early game. It's the only monster I get, so you can summon it, and, hope your opponent will have to waste something to get over it. Triple Tristan, Knight of the Underworld, so this is new, obviously, from the Gold Series. Just an unbelievable card, really. It combos with itself so well, and other monsters in the deck, including Unizombie and others. When it's normal summon, you add a zombie monster with 0 defense from your graveyard to your hand, and if you control another zombie, it gets an extra 300 attack. So it's 2100 beater, it searches all sorts of stuff, and it combos so well with Recurring Nightmare and stuff. Honestly, one of the best cards in the deck, without question. Playing 2 Secret Sect Druid Drew. Now this card, I don't know if you've heard of it before, but somebody on Reddit recommended it actually, and I thought I'd give it a shot. When it's normal summon, you can target 1 level 4 dark monster in your graveyard with 0 attack or defense, except this card, obviously. Special summon that target in face of defense position. So you can use this with Zombie Master, you can use it with Tristan, you can use it with not much else that I have in the main deck, honestly. But that really doesn't matter. I mean, it's so often not a dead draw, and with 1800 attack, if you do need to run into something with it, you can. But it speeds up the deck by enabling you to make rank 4s, or, I mean, technically just to get more field presence on the field and do some stuff with Unizombie. Unfortunately, you can't bring Unizombie back, but still, such a good card, and it's worked really well for me in testing so far. So, I mean, if I was going to do anything, I'd cut it down to 1, but really at 2, I like to be able to draw it, so it's definitely good where it is. 2 Zombie Master. Unfortunately, don't have ultis yet. Another really good card, another useful card that kind of serves its purpose as far as that goes. You could play it at 3. I'm just sort of still torn on the idea because I don't know how I feel about whether or not I want to put it at 3 or just keep it at 2. But it does dead draw on occasion if you get it early game. I like to fill up the graveyard easily with other stuff so that if I draw this, it's more live. But you can also mill this if you have, plays that will enable you to get it on the field. And for the rest of the monsters, obviously 2 is Sold Belle of the Underworld. This is the one you can special summon if you control a Tristan, Knight of the Underworld. And then it can manipulate the levels of up to 2 zombies, including itself, between 5 and 8. So it lets you make Zombie Stein, not to mention 0 defense, Crush Card Virus target with the 1000 attack. And if you special summon it when you control Tristan, you can make a rank 4 like Direwolf or Laval Chain or whatever. and just do all sorts of things. You can really just go off with it. So I've cut out the Ghost Sharon because I really don't think it's necessary. I'm running 2 Crush Guard Virus targets in the main deck, yet I'm still maining Crush because it's too strong not to utilize, and I can honestly get stuff in the graveyard so easily that it's not like I have trouble making Crush Guard live. So so far so good. The only other thing I've considered is Plague Spreader Zombie, but I haven't really found a need to put that in yet, so we'll see what happens as I keep testing with it. So let's transition to spells. 2 MST. I don't think it's necessary at 3 anymore right now. There are still some floodgates that hurt it, but I do side the third one, and I'll put it in games against like Gravekeepers, which is a rogue deck kind of, but it does hurt this deck substantially. So definitely one of the things I like to not have to play against, rather. 2 Recurring Nightmare. I was talking about this card last time. Some people didn't even know what it was. Select 2 Dark Monsters with 0 defense in your graveyard and add them to your hand. So this creates +1 plays easily. It can create +2 plays if you bring back Tristan, because then you can summon Tristan and search something else. Almost everything in the deck is a target, including the Druid and Unizombie, so it's way too good not to play. And then for 1-ubs, Allure, Book of Moon, Foolish Burial. Finally got my hands on a Regeki, so got that in there now in the main deck. I'm not really worried about Dark Hole right now. Burial from a Different Dimension, again, just lets you reuse your Mizukis and stuff. If you can get the right combo pieces for this, it's awesome. And then Dragon's Mirror, which I talked about, you play it at 1. Banish 2 monsters from your banish monsters from your graveyard list on a Dragon Fusion type monster, which obviously would be the Drago Necro. So once your zombies are dead, you can banish them from the graveyard, and you can summon a 3,000 beater, which I don't know why you wouldn't want to take advantage of the opportunity to do that. So really good card, really useful for what it does. And as far as the spells go, it's a pretty small spell lineup, but I play a lot of traps because I like to be able to play a control game when I'm setting up stuff early on. But you could play Forbidden Lance, I guess, is one I've tossed around the idea of, but I don't know that it's necessary. Another one is Pot of Duality, which I know is funny to talk about in a deck that special summons as much as it does, but there's a lot of turns where I don't special summon and I'm just setting up plays. And being able to get that improved consistency is something I have considered, especially because if you got Unizombie and you just want to summon it and mill something, or Mathematician for that matter, it's a useful idea. So I haven't really toyed around with it too much, but I'll let you know how that works as far as testing goes. 2 Karma Cut, just really good. You discard a card, it can get your Mizukis engraved, it can get your Unizombies engraved, it sets you up for all sorts of plays, and it hits heroes hard. If you banish Shadow Mist and they have other copies in the grave, assuming you time it right, obviously, you can really do some damage to them. It'll hit Satellars a bit too. I think it's better than Wing Blast right now for that reason. It's got a decent matchup against a lot of stuff. 2 Mirror Force. I am siding the third one. This is best against Yosenju, but it does hurt Necros to an extent. Just 3 is kind of unnecessary in a deck where I'm playing basically the lineup that I'm playing. So you can side into the third one in decks that are going to be heavy against it, because there's plenty of stuff you can side out. Chukal the Haunted. 3 is also possible, but so much of my deck can already special summon stuff, so I don't want it to be too dead. That being said, sometimes this card does come in clutch. And then as far as 1-ubs, Torrential. I'm sort of down on Torrential right now, but I still play it just because, you know, it's still a field wipe, and it seems to combo well with a lot of the zombies that need to be in the graveyard anyway. So until further notice, I'm going to keep it in, but we'll see what happens. 1 Solemn Warning. 1 Ring of Destruction. I think this card is amazing right now. I think even with the nerf that it had, I just think it's a useful 1-for-1 removal, and that burn can really help you to shift the game in your favor before you start to swarm with the zombies. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Compulse, and 1 Crush Guard Virus, which is so good right now. Just especially because I side the Mind Crushes, and against decks like Yosenju and Heroes, I'll always side the Mind Crushes in and dump out some of the stuff that's not going to do as much. Just honestly hits so many things, and it's just a really, really good card that lets you see the opponent's hand. Now, Crush Guard Virus doesn't really hurt our deck at all, like this deck at all, because I want to be able to destroy my monsters. So what this does is, if they use it, I can destroy up to 3 monsters in the deck. I'll mill some Mizukis or something. Got all sorts of combo plays. I was playing at Locals this past week against a hero deck that did just that, and basically it enabled me to go for game because they just let me fill up my graveyard with stuff. So Crush Guard Virus doesn't hurt us very much, but it's such a good card. And the only thing I really would like to do is find a third monster for it, so I have a solid 3 targets. But even if I can't, you know, get that done, at least, you know, knowing that I have access to it relatively easily makes it a really good card. It's a strong, strong opening card for sure. So that's that. The extra deck I've also refined a little bit, and I think there's 16 cards in it currently because I'm still toying around with stuff, so I'm going to have to cut something down before I actually play with it again, so I'll show you the options that I have. So, number 22, Zombie Stein. I do make this quite a bit. 4,500 beater, you can make it by manipulating the levels of those guys, any of the zombies with Bell. Master Key Beetle, solid card right now. It still works with Vanities, which I play in the side deck, and I mean, hey, locking your opponent down with that's Vanities is still powerful, even though you do special summon. Stardust Dragon, only because I don't really have a Spark, and I do feel like Stardust Dragon is actually decent for what it does, so I don't mind him right now. Scrap and Red Dragon Archfiend. This is just the 3 level 8s that I play, because I can go into them a lot, so I like to have a little bit of variety, but this would probably be better suited as a Crimson Blader, or maybe even like Colossal Fighter, or Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. There are better options out there, but right now I'm just working with what I have. I mean, Red Dragon's not bad for a 3,000 beater, don't get me wrong, but Hot Red Dragon basically does the same thing, but better. Gaga Samurai, new card from World Superstars. It's really good. If you haven't really gotten a chance to take a look at it, you definitely do that. Abyss Dweller. I play Shark Fortress. Honestly, I have a lot of times where I can make 5s because of Unizombie and stuff, and so sometimes I like to just be able to capitalize on that. It's not often I go into this, though, so you could dedicate this space to something better. It is just convenient to push per game. Rhapsody and Berserk. It is a crush card target. This is crush card target too. So if you ever need to make a quick overlay just to make your crush card virus live, if you want to put some bazookies or something in the grave, definitely something you can do. Cowboy. I mean, it wins games, combos well with Samurai, so I don't know why you wouldn't play it. Diamond Direwolf. Really good at what it does. Drago Necro. Awesome card. This is the one you summon with Dragon's Mirror. 3,000 beater. Black Rose Dragon, I can make level 7s almost every turn, so it's nice to have some options. I got that and Yahtzee, so that's pretty cool. And then Crimson Knight Vampire Bram, which is a rank 5, and you can make it with Bale and Tristan, or Bale and any other zombie. Detaching materials, special summon one monster from your opponent's graveyard to your side of the field. So, plus when he's destroyed, he brings himself back, so it's a zombie, it's got 0 defense, it's searchable by all sorts of stuff. Really good card, definitely in this deck. And then this guy here, he's cool, but he's so impractical, and I'm probably just going to take him out. But if you look at this right now, like I said, I got 16. He's very useful if you can get him out, I guess, but he's just not really worth the investment, especially when the deck has so many better options, like, making Zombie Stein or devoting your Synchro resources to something else. You could definitely also play level 9s in here. There's a lot of scenarios which I can make them, but I just don't know what's worth playing, because Mistworm needs 2, and, I mean, Gigantic Castle's not terrible, I guess, so if that's something that you're interested in, by all means, toy around with that, see how you like it. Let me know if you do get any, interesting results from it. And finally, I apologize talking a lot here, just speaking from experience, because I've seen a lot of these changes kind of come to fruition, and it's made the deck much better, in my opinion, is the side deck. So it's now an official side deck and everything. So I got 2 Dark Hole. This doesn't hurt Yosenju. As a matter of fact, it's so bad against Yosenju, which I face a lot, that I don't like to main it. It doesn't really hurt heroes as much either, but it does hurt other stuff like Necros and Tellers and stuff like that, assuming you don't run into an Alpha. So 2 Dark Hole, 2 Twister. When there are decks that hurt me, like Floodgates, I need to be able to get rid of the stuff. And 2 Twister and MST, being able to have those to remove against Gravekeepers or Vanities, Macro, stuff like that. Otherwise, the deck can't make any plays, and it just flat out loses. So you kind of need to overcompensate to get rid of those, just because of how much they hurt you. The 3rd Mirror Force, which is often cited in against Yosenju and things of that nature. 1 Vanity's Emptiness. You do special summon a lot, so obviously it's not something to main, but it does hurt stuff. Necros and things like that, it's always good to side that in. Double Mind Crush, such a good card right now, and it's a beautiful Ultra too. It hits everything, really, but there's some stuff it's less effective against than others, so I like to just keep it in the side, because there's no point in, utilizing it game 1, especially if you have no idea what your opponent's playing, and you don't get the chance to combo off a search. It can just be a dead draw. So, 2 Banisher of the Radiance. I still love this card. I think it's so good against Burning Abyss, and I think it's good against Yang Zing as well. It's been one of the cards I've side-decked for a long time and everything, but it's one of those things that I'll just summon it and make the opponent waste resources to get it off the field, and then once that's done, I'll continue to make plays otherwise. 2 Effect Veiler. You definitely need Effect Negation right now, especially against decks like Necros and stuff, but my deck is structured so much that, like, it doesn't really matter if you hit me hard, because I'll just be able to come back next turn with something. So I don't really main the effect negation, but it's useful side. And finally, 2 Heavy Knight of the Flame, which is from World Superstars. It's a Gemini, which is a little inconvenient, but once it gets its effect, if it battles a special summon monster, you can banish that monster automatically. So if you dump this in the graveyard with Unizombie or something and then bring it back and second summon it, you can run over any Xyz, Synchro, whatever, whether it's Dark Law, whether it's, you know, Trishula, whether it's anything, and it doesn't target. So it just banishes that monster automatically like a Catastor. So far it's been really useful, but there's only a couple of decks where I bring it out because it can be a dead draw. Obviously, being a Gemini does hurt it. But if I get it in the graveyard and special summon it and, you know, manage to manipulate those combos, it's a really useful card. So, pretty cool. And this is basically just what I'm toying around with for a side deck right now. And I found it to be useful. I do side a lot. Obviously, you want to make sure you can do, you know, side to the best of your ability, you know, in those games for the most effective plays and such. So, apologize for talking a bit, but I just wanted to explain some of the changes, and I think this current version of the deck is working a little bit better than the last one did, and it's just a bit more consistent. So, hope you guys did enjoy this updated deck profile video. If you have any comments or suggestions or anything you'd like to let me know about, I mean, I do listen to them because we're trying the Druid now, which people talked about, so that works out well. Feel free to leave us a comment below and click the Pokeball in the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe for more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh videos. I'll see you guys next time at Loveshack Entertainment. Hey guys, thanks for watching. You'll notice this screen here has a bunch of annotations and links you can click to navigate your way around the channel. Click the pictures of the video games to check out some of the Let's Plays. Click the Yu-Gi-Oh logo to check out some of our pack openings. Click the weekly giveaway button to see our Pokemon opening videos in which we give away free TCG online codes. And click the subscribe button to, well, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time at Loveshack.